Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk about and taste and rate batch number 5, the monthly. This was really bad right here. Um, Batch number 5, the monthly single barrel release from Still 630 in St. Louis. My name is Justine Mays. Please join me in welcoming my co-host Steve Akeley and last minute special guest Dave Wedlars.
Hey gang, what's up?
Hello.
Good. Hey.
Hello, Dave. Well, thanks for being here, man. We appreciate it. We knew you were on vacation, so we had told everybody you weren't going to be here, but you are here, which is cool.
Yeah,
Apparently, just got back. What did you do? Did you get to do anything fun or exciting?
Yeah, we took the family on a Griswold style road trip.
Okay.
Out to Colorado, and we went skiing a little bit, and then came back. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So the kind of a quick turnaround, huh? Just out and back. Yeah.
We drove out in 2 days, but we decided to just drive back in one. So it was a nice 16, 17 hours in the car on the way back Friday/Saturday. So it's
yes.
We have an 18-month-old who did not appreciate the car that much. He's pretty good, but he was over it after a while. So was I.
What I love a good road trip. I'm a road trip person. We did a long road trip, kind of cross country, all the way to South Dakota, and then did stuff in between and stuff like that. And then I decided on that trip, because I started looking at the states we had gone to, and we had did something in each one. We kind of made an activity. You have to do something in the state for it to count. And then I got to count, and I thought, well, you know what? I think we could. If we did enough road trips, we could go to all 50 states. Now, obviously, there's a couple you got to really fly to, but beyond that, we could road trip the U.S. and we did that. Other than we did a West Coast swing, so we flew out to Seattle one time and then went down the coast and covered those. But the rest of everywhere else in the country, we drove, and I just love the road trip, man. There's something cool about it. I don't know what it is.
I completely agree. I grew up doing that with my family. And I'd be bored at times, but I remember just reading and going through all the states. And in this country, we're so blessed to really have an incredible geography with all these different environments all over. And as you saw driving across country, there's a beauty to the Great Plains. There's a beauty to mountains, to the forests, to the river town and stuff. And just, it all has its own character, and it influences the people and communities that are in there and stuff, which is just great to experience. There's a great line, I forget who wrote it, maybe Mark Twain or Jefferson or somebody, but it says, those who do not travel only read one page of life, or the world. I butchered it, but it's something along those lines. Right. The more you experience, the more you grow and appreciate. So all I'm hearing, Steve and Justine, I'm a little bit sorry for you, because what I'm hearing here is there's going to be an ABV road show that travels around all these distilleries across the country.
Yeah. As soon as we can buy the RV, then it's just the ABV Network's a traveling road show.
And your face, the Sasquatch, Bourbon Sasquatch,
right?
And it's going to be taking pictures in front of all the landmarks and distilleries. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. So tell us about, when you got young ones like that, it changes things a little bit, but are you the type that when you go, are you just doing like a drive through or are you more of take your time a little bit, sit down restaurants and things like that to take a break from the driving?
We used to be much more like that. We would stop, with the kids. Our oldest one now is 8, Mason is 8, Barrett's 6, and then Nathan is a year and a half old, as I said. You just got to bleed out that energy from them. So we stop at like rest areas and stuff, and we'll have running races or jumping jack competitions. We did push-ups at one of them, which has got to look hilarious to everybody else, but it's the only way we can survive if we bleed just a little bit of energy out of them. But normally we love to stop. We like, our big thing, obviously, like most people, is trying to go places you can't get back home. Mm-hmm. That's always important to us. Again, you get to experience more. It kind of stinks on a lot of the exits on the major highways. They've got the same, McDonald's and gas stations and whatever that you see everywhere. But sometimes, you can find something new and different, and it's not always good. But hey, that's where great stories come from, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I will say on that trip to out to South Dakota, license plate game, all 50 states and Washington, D.C. on one trip. It was fantastic. When you get the last one, when you're searching for the last one, man, and you get it finally, it's great. It's a great feeling. So
it sounds a lot funnier than it feels. It feels triumphant when
It does. Yeah.
So difficult. One of the things we did, sorry, and then I'll let you get back in here. On our road trip out, we scheduled it. I always like to visit distilleries, but in this time, instead of visiting some new ones, I had the family with me, so we can't really sit around for hours and talk minutia and really dive to the bottom of the glass. But we stopped it with my good friends out at Bear Creek Distillery in Denver.
Oh yeah.
And if you're not familiar with them, highly recommend them. Just great guys.
Do a great job.
People. And really, we've got a little project in the works I'm not ready to talk about, but we're kind of working on something for a few years from now. And super fun to see, friends in the business. I didn't know until I got into this, and now we become good friends. And like, I brought my family over and stuff. So it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that is one of the cool offshoots. I would assume that there's a bond that you have too, even if you've never met someone before. You call and say, "I'm a distillery owner. I'd like to come out and see your place." You have an immediate connection, and it's a way to meet friends all across the country, which has to be very cool.
Point in case, the guys from Rollins Distillery down in Florida came up one time on a tour, and only at the end of the tour did they mention, meekly and respectfully, we have a little distillery too, and we're excited. And ever since then, I've been kind of keeping tabs and watching them and seeing how they've had success and grown. And it's really cool. Yeah, for as many distilleries as there are nowadays, there's not very many in the grand scheme of things. So it's a members of a sacred tribe, so to speak. So it's always cool.
Well, we had a big moment this week too. Justine was part of it. Producer Justine, as she is on our TV show. We have a new talk show. It's a YouTube thing that we launched this week. We did episode number 1. We interviewed Brent Elliott and Stephen Fonte of Limestone Branch. Man, what a thing. I mean, that was the first thing I've ever been nervous for. I don't get nervous for coming on these shows or anything like that. But man, that thing, I felt the pressure of the world because, you practice it, you sketch it all out. And we had that when we first were doing the podcast too. Is this going to work? Is it not? I don't know till we do it. But it's just us. So this was, we had the studio audience, we had these big bourbon celebrities, and is this idea, this concept even going to work? Is it going to flow good? Am I wasting their time? And it was great, man. It was really cool. Awesome. So I know we've got you scheduled you will be coming on later on in season 1. So I'm excited to have you on there, man.
I'm thrilled to be on it. You guys did a great job. Number 1, I hope that you build the bar high enough so that when I come on and lower it a little bit, we'll still be okay.
I think we'll be okay.
Congratulations to that. I mean, hey, cheers to that.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers, buddy. We'll be pouring in a second here. But before we get to that, tell us a little bit about Batch 5. What do you remember about it? Is there anything that stands out, in making this one or anything like that?
So like I said, we had originally planned out the first 3 releases. And then from then we've just been kind of cherry picking. Andrew and I, Andrew Spa, right-hand man, my fellow taste tester, we'll go through and we'll sit down and we'll get like a slew of, I want to say we got like 7 or 8 different bourbon samples from different barrels that were kind of right around this age here, which is just a hair under or around 4 years old, give or take. And we didn't want to put the age statement on it because we're kind of flirting with that. Some barrels might be a hair under, some might be a year. Like this one was from March 2nd, 2017. So it might have been like a couple days because we bottle it, a few days before the release. Sure. I mean, it might have been like 363 days, whatever. But it's the same mash bill as all these. We're trying to, for the time being, and for this first year or two, we're going to keep them all that consistent 70-20-10 corn, rye, barley. We've got a lot of different bourbon barrels put down that have different mash bills, and some of the weirder or more unique ones will probably come out in the Monon Bell series line that comes out once a year. But some of the other ones might come into this Missouri straight bourbon whiskey, but we're still a little ways away from those. So picking this one, I wish I had a bottle of it with me right now, but because we just got back yesterday, I'm actually drinking on a previous batch, gotcha. Batch 2 right now. But this one kind of stood out to us, as I remember, as just being pretty well-rounded. It had a little more what we call spikes in there, like different, like individual flavors that were a little more prominent than a perfectly cohesive thing. And I'm interested to see how the tasters felt about that. we like it a lot and we're very proud of it, but we'll see what the experts think.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get a pour of this. I've got the bottle here, batch number 5. Here we go. Cork pop. It's a good cork pop there, Dave. That's solid.
Thank you. I didn't mean to compete there.
All right. All right. Let's say cheers. Cheers on this.
Cheers.
Take a quick drink. And what we'll do next, we will take a break. But then when we come back, Justine and I will get into the nosing and the tasting notes. And then we're going to pull in the studio audience here as well. We'll have you guys contribute to that. So feel free to open up your mics now. We're going to have you contribute to that. And then, of course, we will rate it. So we'll do that in just a few.
Welcome back. Today on the show, we are talking about Batch 5, one of the monthly single barrel releases from StilL 630 in St. Louis.
Yes, we are. So, Justine, back to the nosing on this one. What are you getting as you nose this?
I'm definitely getting like a cereal, like a sweet cereal, kind of like, and you said there was no wheat in this, right, Dave?
Correct. Yes, it's
Correct.
just corn, rye, and barley.
So it kind of reminds me of that puffed wheat or cracked wheat cereal that has like the sugary glaze on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a little on the floral note side. I mean, I get some of that. But I do get a sweet on the nose too, kind of. But I can't say it's sweet like candy or anything.
A little bit of honey.
Honey, yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's give it a taste. Check it out. Yeah. All right. What are you thinking, Justine? She's thinking.
It definitely, yeah, what you said, like different things kind of peak up. Like I almost got like a little bit of like a leathery thing that just kind of popped out of nowhere. Leathery note.
Leathery note. Yeah. And I mean, on the taste, there
Little
is
citrus.
little citrus. Yeah, it's definitely got a fruit citrus on the taste, but it's also got it does have oak, like an oaky citrus. So that's good there. There's
Good. It's good. I like it.
It's very good. The finish is really good too. I mean, the
Right.
finish is stays with you. It's warm. It's good. Again, not overpowering. Comes at you nicely. Breathe in. You afterwards. It's nice. Nice little mellow.
I'm pretty sure after the
Yeah.
last one, I was supposed to get more than an ounce sample.
I messed that up.
I was at your house too, and I still only got an ounce sample.
Didn't you? I still sent you the sample, but didn't you buy a bottle of this? I think.
No, I bought number 4.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, see, that was the mistake that I thought, well, why do I got to send her a couple of ounces if she already got one? Okay. So you got batch 4 is what you bought. Okay.
Killing me not to be able to taste and nose. I wish I had batch 5 so I could put out what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a different batch, and it's irrelevant. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go around the horn here, and I'm just going to go on my screen again. Let's not forget, my view versus your view is different. It's based on basically the order that you signed in tonight. So, first one on my screen is Bill. And Bill, what are your thoughts on this one? As you nosed it, as you tasted it, that type of thing.
Well, my stepfather's mother, we called her Memo. She used to make this dessert, and it was a sheet cake, and she would pour this spicy, caramelly kind of drizzle over it, and it would seep into the cake, And that's what this kind of reminds me of. It was something that I always look forward to having. Hers didn't have the alcohol, but that's what this reminds me of.
Hey, what that is the most positive kind of tasting notes that we've ever got a Bill. Bill's usually I like it or I don't like it guy. That's just what he is, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how a lot of people are. But to come up with that, something that from his childhood that he loved, that he associates it with, that's pretty high regard there, Dave. What do you think of that?
That's incredible. Thank you, Bill. I mean, that to me, that in a microcosm is what is so great about this industry and this business. Because to people on the outside, oh, it's alcohol, you're getting drunk because you want to party. You want to appreciate something. We just had this gentleman share a heartfelt, cherished memory, right?
Right.
That reminded him of from this simple liquid in a glass. Like that's what it's all about. That is exactly why I wanted to become a distiller, because I feel that this alcohol is a part of people's lives. It's not just a distraction. It can be something that embellishes, enlarges, and really bonds people together. So thank you. No, that's awesome.
Yeah, what I love about that comment too is, you know, these are, you know, we don't know it at the time, but these are slices of our life that we're talking about here when we're talking about baked goods of our family. You know, if you got a favorite cake from a store, you might be able to get that your entire life, and it's going to be pretty consistent. But when you're talking about like something like your grandmother made or something like that, I know that with my own grandmother. Man, she was the best cook, and she would make such, you know, these great things, and you didn't appreciate it at the time. You loved it, but you didn't think, yeah, at some point I'll never have this again. And you know, she's been gone 15 years now, and I still like, I'd love to have her homemade bread one more time, or the pie that she used to make at Thanksgiving one more time. But yeah. So the thing Bill brings up is really, really cool.
And like you're saying, Stephen, Bill, that's because their secret recipe, their secret ingredient, you know, was that love, right? And that you remember is they put their soul into it. And so for anybody to ever say anything on that level for a remark about something that I made is the highest praise out there. You know, if it's a beloved family memory that cherishes you and takes you back to that time and place, or even just reminds you of it faintly. That's awesome stuff, man. That's
cool.
Awesome.
Very cool. All right, Paul, you're next up on my screen. What are your thoughts on this one as you nosed it and you tasted it?
This is a good one. I really liked it a lot. It's complex. Each sip, it kind of was pulling out different flavors. I got a lot of almost like a leathery brown sugar. It's like a sweet leather. I don't know, on the in the front, and then as it lingered, like it has great mouthfeel, great finish. On the finish, I get more of like that's where like citrus, like honeysuckle, comes out on the finish, and I even pick up like a little bit, like on the third or fourth sip, I'm starting to get little hints of like rye, like minty or spearmint from the rye grain. It's, very complex. I liked it a lot.
Dave is really hitting his stride just with, you know, what's in every, you know, when I think of Dave, I think of, you know, the special release every year. And again, you guys got to get on that when he comes out with his Rally Point Rye, the 5-year that once a year. But this is, you know, an everyday type of product because he releases a barrel once a month. And these are just off the charts good, Dave. I mean, you're hitting them out of the park, man.
Thank you. We're trying hard, so it's good to hear. It's a much appreciated, guys. And I love that. I love that tea kind of note, spearmint note that you're talking about. To me, when the rye really gets in there, that's some of the notes that they're talking about. Whether it's rye whiskey, or in with the bourbon and getting that little bit of that rye in there. To me, that's like the highest evolution of the rye. So that's very cool that you're picking that up.
Yes. Okay. Next up on my screen is Kate. So Kate, you'll be next.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one too. So I feel like I can taste each of the grains that you have in here. So I noticed the corn on the nose, and then the corn and the barley on the taste initially. There's like the cereal sweetness in there, and then I get the oak with the vanillins and the caramels is really tasty. And then the rye really comes through on the finish with the heat, but it's a nice even heat. I think, Steve, you said it it was a warmth. That's probably more appropriate. It's not hot. It's
Right.
It's this
Right.
nice warm but long finish. Really surprisingly long.
Surprisingly
and then
long finish. Yeah.
yeah, and that's where, and Paul nailed it because I couldn't figure it out. Honeysuckle and mint for me on that finish, on that rye finish.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge rye fan, so I'm really impressed that I get the rye notes out of here, and I really enjoy this one. It's so
All
nice.
right. All right. This will be interesting when we get to the scoring time to see how it does. We'll review. I've got all four or scores so far. So, Laureen, you're the last one. What are your thoughts here as you nosed and tasted this one?
Every time I take a sip, I feel like I'm getting something different.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I don't know if it's just my memory, and we're talking about all these memories, but one of the sips I was thinking those malt balls, those chocolate malt balls. Those, I don't know why every time I take a sip of that, that's all I keep thinking about are those. But I definitely get the vanilla too.
Yeah.
We talk about those a lot at the distillery as one of the flavors, that maltiness.
Yeah.
Malt ball specifically. I don't know why, but Andrew and I have this shared affinity for old timey candy. You know, those like strawberry candies that with the strawberry like wrapping.
Oh yeah.
The gel center. My grandma had those, and so did his. And so
did my grandma.
Fine.
Only sold to grandmas. But them, the malt balls, like Werther's Originals, like all these kinds of old time candies that we love, come up in our tasting notes. And that's going back to, I think the whole gist of all these comments here is how personal tasting really is, right? The identities, the memories that are associated with it, good or bad. I mean, the way some people pick up on certain flavors and they're less sensitive to others. It truly is a personal experience. And that's why these Zooms and these last Sundays are so cool, because everyone's having their own personal experience in a shared setting, right? Like Kate said, she's tasting the different grains in there and bringing out different things. And it's so cool to see how people interpret and experience the same spirit on their own different uniqueness.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What I love too about the group tastings is like right when Kate said, "Hey, Paul nailed it on that." Sometimes working in a group helps you experience that. You're searching for in your own mind, your own database of what that is, and someone says it, and you're like, "Yes, that's what I was looking for. That's it." So that's why I do love doing these things as a group.
That also works conversely though, Steve, because a lot of times someone will say something and you can't get that thought out of your head.
Right. Oh yeah.
Anything else? It's like all I can use is that now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that too. All right, so now it's time to score this thing. Justine, you get to decide who goes first, me or you.
I think you went first last time.
Yes.
So I will go first this time.
And you're keeping track of this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me pull up my spreadsheet here.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 96, and I'm stealing your 0.630.
Hey, that's my signature. Yeah. Okay. I really like this one too. This is an A work here. I'm giving it a 94.630. All right, we're going to go in reverse of the order that we just went before. So I'm going to jump all the way down to on my screen to Laureen. Laureen, you're going to be first. What is your score on this one?
We had a 95.7.
95.7. Okay. Kate, you're next.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 93.24.
93.24. Okay. All right, Paul.
95.5.
95.5. And last but not least, Bill, who has dinner now. That's a good plate there, man. It looks good.
My wife just made homemade chicken pot pie.
Oh, very nice.
I'm going to give this a 95.731.
95.731. Okay. So let me go through the rankings here all time. So our fourth favorite one was batch number 3, which came out in January of this year. It came in at an 88.498. In third place was batch number 1, which came out in November of 2020. It came in at 89.029. Next up at the number 2 slot is batch number 2, which was December of 2020. That one came in at 91.262. And then the big time, the standout, and just again, not doing any sort of math, but knowing how averages work, you have to have higher than that, and then maybe a couple lower. But I think our champion's not going to be knocked off today. Batch number 4, February of 2021, so just last month, was 97.894. Geez, that's going to be a tough one to beat, Dave. That may stand for a long time, but
I'm afraid of that, and I feel like every time I'm on this, I intimidate people. They're like, "Oh shit, the guy who made it's here. We better."
Oh no, they'll tell you how it is.
I hope so. And I really
at one point, you may be in tears in one of these. It'll be if you ever presented something bad, you'll see how they are.
Oh, sorry, my interconnection's bad. I gotta say no.
Right.
Stop.
Right. All right, Justine, let's see what we got here. So our range is 88.498 to 97.894. Where does this one fall?
This one is 95.239.
That is nothing to sneeze at there. That's pretty darn good. That's going to get a number 2 of all time. So that'll be out there in perpetuity on our website. You can click on that. I decided, there's, I get one link on there, and I was doing it to the podcast. Last month I did it to the video. I think the video is the way to do it, because you can see people as they're doing it. So that's what we'll link up to on the website. But you can listen on the podcast too. You can just go to the Bourbon Daily, and here comes the legend.
Well, no wonder why he's late. He's on the beach.
He's on the beach.
Oh, Jesus.
He's got a tie-dyed shirt on. He's on the beach with a tie-dyed shirt.
Is that a Tommy Bahama?
I don't think that's Tommy Bahama.
Hey, I totally screwed up tonight.
It
Yeah.
looks like you're winning right now. Hashtag winning right now, Rick.
Yeah.
Our washing machine went out with all my work uniforms in it yesterday. So I diagnosed the problem to be the pump on the washer. So I took it apart, and the impeller came off of the motor shaft. So I was able to put everything back together. And I was just finishing it up. I came upstairs, and it's like, I told the wife, I said, I got an event tonight. I wasn't thinking about 5 o'clock. I'm thinking 7 o'clock. It's like,
Right. That's our normal time, but yeah, we podcast on Sundays, so we have to work around our schedule. So yeah.
I don't believe it for a second. I think the washer went out, and he said, "The hell with this. I'm going to Bora Bora." And whiskey there.
I was having trouble finding the sample bottle, so I went and got a big sample bottle.
Okay.
Steve, thank you for the lemon heads, by the way. And for the It came at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
They dropped it off at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
I
cool.
think you
Yes.
got to pay extra for service like that.
Yeah, eight in the morning, a drop off. Yes.
That's
Right.
That's breakfast bourbon.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
So hold on. Does Rick get to vote on this one? Does he get to put his number in, or is he too late?
What do you think, Justine?
Hey,
Is
I
it
think-
locked in once you state it?
No.
Okay.
Give us your score, Rick.
Rick, give us your score. Sorry, you've missed all the show and all the tasting notes and all. We won't put you through that, but we need a score. Again, we go out to 3 digits. So
which I love, by the way. I
yes.
think that's awesome. I appreciate that we're getting into the 1,000.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yes.
He's tasting it now.
I would also say that I really appreciate that. I mean, hey, if the worst thing we put out so far in this program so far has gotten a B+, I'm over the moon. This is
It's not bad. It's not bad.
I would be aching for such.
Okay. Rick, what do you think of this one?
I'm going to say 96.7.
96.7. Okay. Dave, I think your score just went up.
Well, I'm
good.
confused on why he didn't go out 3 digits. So
Yeah, he has that at his disposal. He didn't
Can
use
you rescore, please?
yeah, please rescore, Rick. Let's add some digits there. Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause I'm afraid he was rounding up.
it. Oh, that could be. All right. Justine's recalculating. Crunching the numbers.
So we are at 95.447.
95.447. Again, good for second place all time. That's a solid A. That's a grade I never saw back in my day. So yeah, exciting for Dave to be able to get that here with us.
Hey, it only
So,
took me 40 years.
Cool. Next thing we do giveaways. Oh, yes, Dave, go ahead.
No, I just said I was excited to get an A. It took me 40 years
Yes.
to get to an A. Yeah. I was a solid C student. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's right. I was over with you. Yeah, right in the heart of the curve. So yes. We are giving away an old number 7 hat, Jack Daniels, from our good friends there. I will hit the generate number here, and Justine has a list with the numbers on there. It will go to number 1. Number 1.
That is Kate.
Kate.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations, Kate. You are our winner. I'll get that sent out your way, and thank you for being part of these events.
Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we will wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Dave, we'll start with you. Where people want to follow the journey, they want to maybe come to the events where you release these. Tell us how we can do all that stuff.
Yeah, please check out StilL630.com. That has all of our latest information, has all the ability to sign up for the experimental releases that these two wonderful people do every month. It also tell you when we're releasing our next batch of bourbon, which will be the first Friday of April. And on Twitter, Instagram, we're at StilL630, all those things. So Thank you very much.
All right, Justine, how about you?
You can find me on Instagram at JA_Mays. You can find our shop at abvnetwork.com and on Instagram at abvnetworkshop.
All right. For me, I'm an easy guy to find at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. That's the important one to check out because everything that we do is out there. Maybe you want to review the scores or see the shows that led to the scores. You can do all that at abvnetwork.com. Also want to encourage you to check out our new talk show. It is on our YouTube channel, which is Bourbon Sasquatch. That's our video production company. So check out on YouTube, Bourbon Sasquatch, and please subscribe and hit like to those videos out there. It helps new people find us. We certainly would appreciate that. Justine, anything else to say before we get out of here?
We'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. That helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. Also, if you like what we're doing, please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theABVNetwork.
All right. Great job today, gang. Thanks to our studio audience. Appreciate you guys being here. And of course, thanks to our partner and our buddy, Dave Wiglars. Dave, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Great time.
Absolutely. We'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye, guys. Thank you very much.